Today we are going to see another beautiful composition. Every composition is so beautiful. I know which one excels in which. Lingashtakam. We do not know whether it is by Shankaracharya. It is not mentioned. So therefore, it's traditionally sung in praise of the symbolic representative of Lord Shiva. The very word linga means a sign, a symbol. That is why three linga, napumsaka linga, pum linga we say. Female form, male form, can you close the door? And not male form, napumsaka, meaning we do not know what it is. So, a form that is called a linga. Specifically to Lord Shiva, the very word linga means yasmin linam gacchati sarvam, idi lingam. Lina in Sanskrit means to abide, to merge, to lie. In English, to lie. You know, when you go to sleep, you lie down. That's called linam. Mahatmas, when they obtain the Mahasamadhi, we say that they have gone to Brahmalina. Brahmani Linam, Brahmalina. They have become merged with Brahman. So, Yasmin Sarvam, in whom or in which everything, the word Linam Gacchati, idi lingam. Because as we know, the three trinities of Hinduism, Bhagavan Brahma is a creator, Udbhavakarta, Utpattikarta, then Palanakarta is Vishnu, and then Samharakarta is Bhagavan Shiva. Samharati means brings an end to everything. Our Gurudev used to say he is not a destroyer, but he is a dissolver. The world dissolves into him. And so he is always in the state of meditation where the world comes to an end. Every day when we go to sleep also the world comes to an end. But in whom the entire creation comes to an end. Not a negative, violent destruction. That is not the idea. So, therefore, linam yasmin gacchati iti linga. The form of linga basically is because a globe, for example, does not have top or bottom, right or left, east, west, north, south doesn't exist. Meaning that when our great masters conceived of the supreme reality, they thought it cannot have any beginning or an end. It has no up or down or right or left. So it has to be a globe which has no particular point of beginning. Anywhere you point as a beginning, that itself is the end. Isn't it? In a circle, you start from here, where do you end? There itself. That means from where everything starts, and to that extent, into that only everything should end. That is why in Taittiriya Upanishad it is said, Yatova imani bhutani jayante, from where everything has begun, Yatoma imani bhutani jayante, yena jatani jivanti, because of which everything exists. So from where everything has begun, because of which everything exists. Yatova imani bhutani jayante, yena jatani jivanti, yat prayanti abhisam vishanti tat vijijñāsasva brahmeti. From where everything began, because of which everything exists, into which everything goes back, that is Brahman. So the beautiful symbolization of that Brahman is a round global form. So earlier masters have conceived of that Brahman, if at all it has to be symbolically represented, it should be a round ball. Fine. It does not have any color, any particular characteristics. Therefore, it is Spatika. Because Spatika is that which does not have any color of its own, but it takes any color which is next to it. Because if you put it in a red cloth, it will appear like red. If you put it in a blue cloth, it will appear like blue. So that's Spatika linga. So that's why it's Spatika lingam. It is round in shape. Now, if you look at a typical Shiva linga there, that round top portion is the Shiva Tattva. And the one which is in the form of a south there, what do you call that, as a Petam, the top, this middle portion is Vishnu Tattva, and the bottom portion is called Brahma Tattva. Brahman, the supporter, the creator, Vishnu, the Palankarta, and then on the top is the Shiva. So, worship is only for the top portion. Worship is only to that Shivalinga in the form of a round. Later on, the Swayambhus started being coming out, and then people started worshiping it. It came in the form of a cylindrical form or sometimes elliptical form. So whichever be that, but the top portion alone is considered as the Shiva. So to that alone is the Abhishekam that is all done. So this is the idea of the iconic representation of Lord Shiva. It is found even in the various archaeological evidences way back in thousands of years back also. This has been found that the ancestors worshipped the supreme reality in the form of a lingam. So this composition here is in praise of that Lord Shiva's iconic representation, and it is in the form of 8 verses. Therefore, it is called Lingashtakam. Ashtakam means 8. Yes.
So all the 12 major lingas have presented themselves.
It is said that all of them have become Swayambhu. Swayambhavati iti Swayambhu. So in each place where the Shiva is worshipped predominantly, they are either on their own or it has a Puranic origin. In the Purana, like for example, Rameshwaram, the Shivalinga there was originally created by Sita ji for worship of Lord Shiva after she came back from Lanka, and she made out of sand. But actually, when she wanted to worship, she asked Hanumanji to bring it from the Himalayas. But he went there. By the time he came, she became a little restless and made one out of sand. But anyway, he also brought. So both are there in that place. And the sand Shivalingam is not worshipped with the water, etc. Of course, it will go away, but it is kept as it is. But the one which was brought by Hanumanji, which is a stone, is the what is into which the Abhishekam is done. So most of the Dwadasha lingas are Swayambhus. Some of them will have a Puranic origin, like that of here in Rameshwaram. Whereas Kashi Vishwanath and all others are Swayambhus. Now we will take up this Lingashtakam, that is in page 88. I forgot. Brahma Murari Surarchita Lingam Nirmala Bhasita Shobhita Lingam Janmaja Dukkha Vinashaka Lingam
जन्मज दुःखविनाशकलिङ्गम्
tat pranamami sada shivalingam.
प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्
Brahma murari surarchitalingam nirmalabhasita shobhitalingam janmaja dukkha vinashakalingam tat pranamami sada shivalingam. Last line remaining the same in all the 8 verses, at least that you must remember. Tat pranamami sada shivalingam. Tat, that. Pranamami. Pranamami. Namami is no. Namami is to salute. Namanam. Namanam, our Gurudev used to say, Namaskar is, whenever we worship anything, any particular form of God, we say Namaha, Namaha. In the Muslim Islamic tradition, become namaz. Right? So, namaha means na mama. Idi. That when you offer something, you have to say, this is not mine anymore. It is Lord's. That is called na mama, become namaha. So, namami, I salute. Pra means prakarshena, for sure, very well, intensely. Whenever you add pra as the prefix, kasha is to shine. Prakasha is shining very well. Moda is to enjoy. Pramoda is enjoy more. That's that pra is a prefix. When is used, it is intensity is more. So namami, pranamami. I salute for, so intensely I salute, pranamami. Sada Shivalingam. Shiva is auspiciousness, I told you. Sada Shiva means ever auspicious, always. Sada. So another meaning of Sada Shiva is said to be the Lord, when he is taken as the representative of Brahman, he had 3 important aspects, that is Srishti, Sthiti and Laya. Creation, sustenance and destruction or dissolution. Then it is added 2 more qualities to Sadashiva, is Tirobhuta and Ashirvada. Tirobhuta means where Tirobhuta, Ashirvada, Anugraha. Anugraha is to grace. So Tirobhuta means to make the Maya appear, making everything look deluded, making the people deluded. And then by removing it, giving you anugraha, grace. So many people ask this question, why we are suffering? It is not because of creation that we suffer or sustenance we are suffering. It is not because of the dissolution we suffer. We suffer because of misunderstanding. That is called tirobodha, to cover. And then removing that very Maya is the anugraha, the grace of the Lord. So these 2 are added to that. So that additional 2 more qualities added, it is called Sadashiva. So to that Sadashiva lingam aham pranamami. Why do I salute this Lord? Because this lingam is Brahma Murari Surarchita Lingam. Architam means worshipped. Worshipped by whom? Brahma, Lord Brahma. Murari. Murari is Lord Vishnu. Murasya Ari. Ari means enemy. A Mura is one of the demons, and the demon was destroyed by Lord Vishnu. Therefore, he is referred as Murahari or Murari. So Brahma Murari, Sura. Sura means those who are Devatas. Sushtu Ramante iti Sura. Suraha. They enjoy the very many pleasures and joys of the heaven. Sushtu Ramate. Astushtu ramante iti suraha. Those who are enjoying the various pleasures of the heavens and remaining higher in the exalted state, they are called suras. And those who are not, they are called asuras. Asuras. There, asura is another definition given by Shankaracharya. Is asu means liquor, intoxication. Asushu ramante iti asuraha. Those who are intoxicated, enjoying merely the other kind of a spirit, they are called asuraha. So, Brahma Murari Surarchita Lingam Nirmala Bhasita Shobita Lingam. Nirmala, pure, clear, Bhasita, shining. So bright, beautifully shining. Shobita means beautiful. So that which lingam which is shining brilliantly, pure brilliance, to that lingam I salute. And see, first two is about the glory of the lingam. And why should I do it? Because janmaja dukkha vinashaka lingam. There is always anything that we do, there must be utility. What do I want? I want what? My suffering starting from birth onwards. Janmaja dukkha. If you are not born with, there is no suffering at all then. That is why the child, when it is born, first oh my God, again I came here. Starting. That we will see in detail in that Shiva Aparada Kshamapana Stotram. There he will say what are the suffering the child goes through in the childhood, because of which it cries, and mother thinks something else. Anyway, Janmaja Dukkha. The sorrows born from Janma onwards, because there are said to be 6 modifications in our physical body. One is Asti. Asti is already there, meaning it is. Jayate, that is the first kind of suffering, to be born. Then Vardate, then it growth. Viparinamate, then it is change. Apakshiyate, then start decaying. And Vinashyati, then death. So is born, grows, change, decays, death. So is not a problem, but when it is born, it starts the problem. That's why Janmaja Dukkha. From birth onwards, the 5 vikaras that takes place: birth, growth, change, decay, and death. These are the things that bring in great amount of suffering. So, Janmaja Dukkha Vinashaka Lingam, one who destroys, meaning these 5 gone, what remains is Asti, Aham Brahmasmi. Asti. That is not a Dukkha.
In that whole thing about the suffering, it sometimes, connotates just negativity of life. How can we not think of it that way then?
No, when you understand in all these conditions, if we can pay attention to the Astitva, I am, then there is no problem. It is like when I am wake up, when I am in the waking state, I am, right? In the dream state also, I am. In the sleep state also, I am. But we tend to forget that, identify with what we experience. So when we experience a dream, those dream experiences torture us sometimes, or maybe we get carried away. We forget that that is only a temporary experience. And after that, when you wake up, that is gone. But Astitva continues. So Asti part of the existence or our experience is always remaining the same. But Jayate, born, birth, growth, change, death, decay, and death, these are only to the physical body, to the matter. Identified with that, I suffer. So that is why he says, when I worship the Lord, I come to have the knowledge of the Astitva, and therefore I will not suffer. Janmaja dukkha vinashaka lingam. So the great Munis and Mahatmas have understood that, and therefore they continuously worship the Lord as the Asti Bhava, Asti Swarupa. Devamuni Pravararchitalingam
Devamuni Pravararchitalingam
Kamadaham Karunakaralingam
Amadaham Karunakaralingam
Ravanadarpa Vinashanalingam
Ravanadarpa Vinashanalingam
Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam
Pranamami Sada Shivalingam
Devamuni Pravararchitalingam Kamadaham Karunakaralingam Ravanadarpa Vinashanalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam. Deva, Muni, Devas are the exalted beings who are living in the denizens or heavens. Munis are those who are Maunis, basically. Mauni means the sense they are silent but not sleeping. They are in the state of contemplation. Manana Shilavan Mauni Muni. Mind is in contemplation. In contemplation about what? See, we also think, but we think about only matter. That's what matters to us. But whereas the Munis, the Manana, those who are engaging Mananam, are those who are constantly aware that this world which I am seeing, which is the subject of my experience, object of my experience, is different from the subject. Associated with this world of experience, I continuously go through this various moods of change. Joy, sorrow, suffering, experience of happiness, unhappiness. But in all conditions, the subject remaining the same. This is a constant awareness in them. That anytime when experience is there, ability to come back to that subject, that is called contemplation. Remaining in that very cobwebs of the world of experience is called samsari. So the difference between samsari and muni is both of them live in the same place only. As Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi would say that ajnasya vijnasya vishwamasti. For a person of ignorance, for the person of knowledge, the world is the same. But how they keep in their mind is what is the difference. So Deva, Muni, Pravara. Pravara means ancient seers, the ancestors. They Archita Lingam, worshipping this particular form of the Lord. And as we have seen yesterday also, Kamadaham Karunakaralingam. Kamadaham. Daham means he who burnt Cupid. The one who destroyed a desire, Kama. Kamadaham, that's why he is very calm. If calm is there, you will not be calm. Kamadaham Karunakaralingam. Karunam Karoti. He who bestows compassion, grace, that one who is merciful. Karunakaralingam. That is what I seek from the Lord. Why do we need the compassion from the Lord? Oh Lord, make me get out of this and make me realize constantly that this is all a play that is going on at the level of the Maya. Let me not get caught into that. I need your grace for that. Because by habit, I just get caught into that. And Lord Shiva is said to be one who destroyed the pride of Ravana also. Ravana Darpa Vinashana Lingam. Ravana, but he is a great worshipper of the Lord Shiva. How can he remove the pride of Ravana? It's interesting. Sri Rama, when he was about to embark to the for war with Ravana, he worshipped Lord Shiva at Rameshwaram before going, because he knew that Ravana is a great devotee of Lord Shiva, and he didn't want to have make Lord Shiva feel bad that he is going to attack his devotee. So before leaving for the war, at the shores of Rameshwaram, he invoked Lord Shiva and said, I am not against him for any other reason except that he committed a mistake of taking away my wife, and that is the reason I am going to attack him. Also, he is harassing the Devatas in the heavens. So my very birth, incarnation is for that purpose. So Bhagavan Shiva Tatastu, he blessed him. Because Ravana was so arrogant, as you know, he meditated upon Lord Shiva in the Himalayas, near the Kailash, and he gained the Shivaling also, provided by the Lord Shiva himself. Pleased by Ravana's such a great amount of tapas, Bhagavan Shiva gave him a Shivalinga which is very powerful. But then he later on realized the mistake, because once he has a Shivalinga, he would be very, very powerful. He did not know how to stop him. Then there is a story that Lord Ganesha was brought in, and then he asked him to go behind him. And then the story I told you about that. So where he, stopped him on the way. So the Ravana's pride is removed. He could not take it out of the shores of India. So he created his own Shivalinga in Lanka and then worshipped that, which is not brought originally from Kailasha. So Ravana Dharpa Vinashana Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam. I worship that Shivalinga which is worshipped by the Devatas, the Munis, the ancestors, that which destroys the desire, the Lord of desire, that is Kamadeva, graceful, and the one who destroyed the pride of Ravana also. Now the physical beauty description of that Shivalinga when it is worshipped. Sarvasugandhi sulepitalingam
Sarvasugandhi sulepitalingam
Buddhi vivardhana karanalingam
Buddhi vivardhana karanalingam
Siddha sura suravandhitalingam
Surasuravanditalingam
Tat pranamami sada shivalingam
Pranamami sada shivalingam
Sarvasugandhi sulepitalingam Buddhi vivardhana karanalingam Siddha surasuravanditalingam Tat pranamami sada shivalingam. So here the worship of the iconic representation of Lord Shiva in the form of a linga is also like any other form of God, is decorated with various things. But it does not have any physical features like that of a face and a shoulder and then the body, trunk of the body, feet and etc. is not there. So the offering is generally to the whole of that the globe, whole round structure. So the whole thing is smeared with chandan. Sarva Sugandhi. Sugandhi means perfume. Sarva Sugandhi Sulepita. In Sanskrit, lepanam is to anoint. Lep. Probably that is why lip also came, lipstick. Lepanam. So, sulepita, well anointed. Su, when you add as a prefix, very well. Like, pra is intensity, su is good, very well. So Sulepita, very well anointed with perfumes. And the next, why do I worship that? Always there should be a part where I need something out of it, right? Buddhi vivardhana karanali. The Lord Shiva in this form is the one, when worshipped, it increases the intellectual power. Buddhi vivardhanam. Vardhanam is to grow. So vivardhanam, visheshena vardhana karanam. The one which is making the buddhi, intellect. See, intellect is after all a product of memory and ability to decide, decision making. So that is why there are four antakaranas are there. Four inner instruments we have. Mana, buddhi, ahankar and chitta. Mana, mind, which is emotional seat. Buddhi, intellect, logic, reasoning, decision making. Memory, smriti, that is which recalls the information of the past. Then ahankar is the identifying principle, that which makes us get identified and feel proud about, etc. That is the nature of ahankar. Buddhi uses memory, whereas the mind remains in ahankar. So buddhi is that which essentially able to make decision based upon the information gathered. So that it uses smriti. So mana, buddhi, ahankara, chitta. Chitta is that seat of memory. So memory has to be increased. That is how the intellect becomes very powerful. So why children go to school? What do? They keep on getting things, new information, and that information, that when very well processed and used for decision making, the intellect becomes strong. The another aspect of memory is where it gives you experiences of the past which makes you feel bad about it, and then very dejected and disappointed. That is the other aspect of the memory which mind uses, and based upon which it becomes very emotional, as well as sometimes it becomes very proud, ahankar. So instead of mana vivardhanam, it says buddhi vivardhanam, which means, that is why when you have the mantras and other things, when you chant, in the tradition, our Indian tradition, Hindu tradition is where everything should be memorized. So when you chant like the Rudram, Chamakam, etc., these are all to increase the power of the memory. So by which the intellect becomes stronger and stronger. So buddhi vivardhanam is basically to make my intellect strong by gathering the right kind of information and use it for appropriate person of decision making. So that is nature of these buddhi, and the buddhi vivardhana karana lingam, the one who makes my intellect strong. Siddha sura sura vandita lingam. Siddha means those who are accomplished masters. Sura, asura, both of them worship. The Lord Shiva is one who is worshipped by both the Devatas and Dhanavas, both the Suras and Asuras. Sura, asura, vandita lingam, vandita worship. Because both of them seek power, and both of them seek the help of Lord Shiva there. Siddha sura sura vandita. As I said, see, Bhagavan Shiva does not reject anyone. Whoever worships. And what is rejected by others, he will take it. So Asuras don't worship Vishnu, go and worship, because he is a supporter of Indra and Devatas. So they always feel left out, like a child who is left out without being taken care. So they always take the shelter of Shiva. Shiva says, you come, you also, if you worship me, I am fine. Sometimes Vishnu gets very upset about that. Why are you supporting them? He said, after all, they are also part of the creation. So, Sura Asura Vandita Lingam. Next. कनकमहामणिभूषितलिङ्गम्
कनकमहामणिभूषितलिङ्गम्
फणिपतिवेष्टितशोभितलिङ्गम्
परिपतिवेष्टितशोभितलिङ्गम्
दक्षसुयज्ञविनाशनलिङ्गम्
दक्षसुयज्ञविनाशनलिङ्गम्
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्
कनकमहामणिभूषितलिङ्गम् फणिपतिवेष्टितशोभितलिङ्गम् दक्षसुयज्ञविनाशनलिङ्गम् तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्. Kanaka means gold. Kanaka Mahamani, with all the various jewels, great jewels. Bhushita, decorated. Lingam, the linga, the symbolic icon of Lord Shiva, is decorated with gold and various pearls and other things. Mahamani means all the ratnas, all the various precious jewels. Panipati Veshtita. Also, Mahamani also means, in some traditions, they believe that the snakes of the very ancient snakes, they had a particular mani on the top of their head. That is also called Mahamani. So here Fanipati. Fani is snake. Fanipati means Lord of all snakes. Usually it is referred as Vasuki. Vasuki Kantabhushanam. Lord Shiva has Vasuki. Just like Lord Vishnu has got who? Seshanag as his thing, as his bed. Here Lord Shiva has Vasuki as a Kantabhushanam, as his necklace. Here Fanipati, the Lord of all snakes. Veshtita, surrounding. Veshti is to surround. So that's why people wear Veshti. To round, to surround, encircle. Shobhita Lingam, beautifully appearing with a Vasuki as covering around him. And Dakshasu Yajna Vinashana Lingam. Daksha, the father of his wife, Dakshayani, and he did not invite him. That story I have told you before. And therefore, she went there and then thinking that, he will oblige. But this father was very arrogant. He said, you are married to a fellow who remains only in the Smashan, among these dead and dancing there. And I have no reason to invite him to this yajna. So she got very upset. She jumped into the fire. And then Lord came to know in the CNN news. Then he just really got very upset and then sent Bhadra, Veerabhadra out of his own creation. And then finally he destroyed the yajna of Daksha. Dakshasu yajna vinashana lingam, which indirectly tells us that any event or any occasion where rituals are involved, there must be invitation to Lord Shiva, without whom it is incomplete. One should bring the Lord Shiva's presence there when one conducts any kind of form of ritual, fire ritual I mean. So any yajna, the Lord has to be present there. Dakshasu yajna vinashana lingam tat pranamami sada shivalingam.
Swamiji, is there a difference when we say Vinashaka and Vinashana?
Now, Vinashaka means he who destroys. Vinashana means destruction. Vinashaka, one who destroys. Vinashana means one who, that which is called destruction. So, lingam vinashanam karoti. Therefore, vinashana lingam. Next one. कुङ्कुमचन्दनलेपितलिङ्गम्
कुङ्कुमचन्दनलेपितलिङ्गम्
पङ्कजहारसुशोभितलिङ्गम्
पङ्कजहारसुशोभितलिङ्गम्
सञ्चितपापविनाशनलिङ्गम्
सञ्चितपापविनाशनलिङ्गम्
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्
कुङ्कुमचन्दनलेपितलिङ्गम् पङ्कजहारसुशोभितलिङ्गम् सञ्चितपापविनाशनलिङ्गम् तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्. So the lingam is decorated with kumkum, chandan. These are all considered as ever auspicious dravyas. The auspiciousness is that which remains unpolluted for a long period of time is referred as auspicious. So there are few things which are considered as are mangala dravyas. They won't get spoiled in time. They are vibhuti is one, meaning the bhasma, kunkuma, chandanam. Then the uncut rice, which is smeared with haldi, that is also considered as that which is considered as mangala dravya. These are all few things, and even turmeric is considered as mangala dravya. So these are all only used for decorating the Lord. Decoration of the Lord either with bhasma or chandan or kumkum or haldi. These are the things which are always fresh and can never be spoiled by change of seasons, etc. Kunkumachandanalepitalingam. And also it means that kumkum is red in color, as you know, attractive, as I told you last time. And chandan represents earth. Earth is represented by chandan. Fire is represented by kumkum, and that burnt, that is creation has come to an end, that is represented by bhasma. So chandan representing origin, creation, kumkum represents sustenance, and bhasma represents end. So these three are offered to the Lord, saying that you are all the three. You are the creator, chandan. You are the sustainer, like a fire is that which sustains. You know, the body, when it heats, heat is there, it's alive. When it turns cold, that means it's no more. So the kumkum representing sustenance and bhasma represents the end. That is, everything has come to an end. That's why kunkuma chandana lepita lingam. Pankajahara sushobita lingam. Panka jayate di pankajaha. Panka means slush. In that slush also, that which beautifully grows is the lotus. Lotus is not born in a normal thing. It is usually in a slushy dirt, it is born there. So pankaja means that which is born out of slush, which is lotus. Pankajahara, the garland of Pankajam, the lotus garland, because of it, Sushobhita lingam, that which shines. And then why do you worship? Bottom line, Sanchita Papa Vinashana lingam. So there are three kinds of karmas which we come to suffer or come to accumulate in our life. One is called Sanchitam, meaning those actions which you have done over many lives which are accumulated. This is called accumulated sin. Sanchita means to collect. Sanchaya is to collection. Sanchitam, that which is collected. Then what we take as a part of it which we come to experience in this life is known as prarabdha, which is what we are. We are product of prarabdha. And what we do in this life, which will later on be accumulated, what we have been doing in this life, it's called agami. So these are the three types of karmas which we come to suffer. And what we are going through is prarabdha. Only by going through you can you can overcome that. You cannot avoid it. What you can avoid is agami. Be careful about what you do, what you say, etc. You can to pretty much avoid. But what is already in store, that you cannot get out. So therefore, only the Lord's grace will remove that. I have to go through prarabdha. I can avoid agami, but I cannot get rid of sanchitam, which is already there in store. That is only by the Lord's grace. So that's why sanchita papa vinashana linga. He who removes, yes.
How does the power of prayer affect this?
You see, power of prayer affects in this way. I mean, if you look at it philosophically, the sanchita karmas or collected sins of the past will come to those who still hold on to that ego or individuality. The karma can affect only the one who is a karta, doer. So when ahankar is there, then rebirth is unavoidable. And rebirth is that which is none other than the product of sanchita. Okay. If an individual has overcome the ego and merged into the Lord by prayer, the individual is no more there for whom the sanchita will affect. It will become useless. It will become futile. It will become like burnt seed, Gurudev used to say. A seed which is potential to germinate is burnt. Then even if the seed is there, it has no ability to grow. So in the same way, an individual whose ego is burnt, the sanchita papa will not affect him. So by worshipping the Lord, you are reducing your ego to the bare minimum and finally burnt. Then that sanchita will become ineffective.
So with the power of prayer, you can't affect your prarabdha this time, right?
Prarabdha you have to go through because it is already started.
It's already started. So like whatever you're praying for will only affect the
what is in store. Yes. And also you will have this
manifested.
Yeah. And also you have the strength and the steadfastness to not to engage in those actions in this life itself that will create new sins. So the prayer will make you withstand the effects of prarabdha, which is already started, will give you the clarity in thinking not to do anything that will increase your further actions, agami, and by removal of this ego, it will make the sanchita ineffective. Right? So that is how all the three sins are being taken care of.
But doesn't this line mean that sanchit pap vinasha, meaning you can destroy your sanchit and therefore change your prarabdha?
No, the one, not you can destroy, but you make it ineffective by surrender of your ego to the Lord. So that is why sanchita papa vinashana lingam. He makes it ineffective.
Is it only for this birth or it's forever? Because now it's in the store.
Yeah.
So when you are talking about...
No, in this birth you have to go through, no?
Right.
So sanchitam is for rest of the births to come.
Right.
That is taken care.
But you're also, sanchita means you're also, whatever you are meant to bear in this life is...
No, that is prarabdha.
It's prarabdha. But it's coming from sanchita.
No, it is already taken out. See, it is like a bank account, you have $10,000 and you take 5,000 for using it. That 5,000 is outside the bank. You're already started using that money. It is not there anymore. So that you have to experience. So that 5,000 is considered as prarabdha. It is not part of the sanchita. It is already started becoming effective. So it is like an arrow that is already shot. It is already on the move towards its target. It cannot go back. So the prarabdha is like a short arrow which is already in momentum. That is what we are now.
But your surrender of your
Ego
whatever can
take care of the
burn some
accumulators.
sanchita.
Whatever, because your ego is not there, there is no sin or actions will come and affect that ego which is not there. It's like an empty room. There is nobody there for it to, destroy. So whereas prarabdha, one will have to go through, and this worship of the Lord will give you enough strength to go through that. You face the karmas, but you will steadfastly say, okay, this is thy will be done, not mine.
But your power of prayer, can it affect this life, your prarabdha? Can it affect?
Affect means?
Meaning, like if you pray for whatever, can anything be changed now?
Nothing can be changed, but you have the strength to bear it.
Deal with it.
Because it cannot be changed. As he said, it is a short arrow. You cannot move the directions. It has to reach its destination. So the karmas of the present which you are going through has to be borne by you and others around you. Not only your karmas will affect you, but others around you will also affect you. Your children, your husband, your in-laws, or what, everybody else, that will also be part of you.
And
So
how
that
do you-
cannot be.
especially with children, and they're working towards something. You say, okay, pray, 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 and sometimes those results may happen, sometimes they don't. How do you kind of, then, especially for children, and as far as their faith, how do you kind of support that still keep praying, even if you didn't get what you want?
Yeah, you get the strength to bear the consequences of action. Even if I do my best in this world, it is not necessarily the best would come out of it. Because it is not only my role that makes the result happen. There are so many other factors that are there present which will influence the result. So when the result is not according to what I like, I usually get very disappointed, feeling very low and then dejected. That can be avoided by the strength of prayer. Okay, that doesn't matter. Next time I will do better. So this ability to overcome the failures and get up and keep going, that happens when there is the faith in the Lord. Otherwise, one will easily get dissuaded and dejected. That's what happens. In the lack of faith, one becomes weak.
So none of your routine karma or whatever you do in this lifetime can change anything within the lifetime?
Very short. It is like this. Your free will is to a very short span, it will change things. It is like, I give the example of, if you have 24 hours a day, it is not decided by you. You don't decide 24 hours. It is already there. Per day, it is 24 hours. All right. But what you do in those 24 hours is your choice, right? Even in that, also there are some influences are there, limitations are there. It's like you get hunger and thirst, but what you eat is decided by you most of the times. Most of the time, because not necessarily always, and in case of me anyway. So, where that choice, that limited choice you have got, not
That
too much,
limited choice will affect your life.
to some extent, not too much. Because I am born as a human, I cannot be otherwise. That choice I do not have. So you look at the amount of choices that I have. Yeah, I am a human being. I cannot be a crocodile. I cannot be a bird to fly. So that limitation I have, right? And also as I go on aging, I cannot reverse it. I cannot live forever. I know the limitation is there. This much is my lifespan. So that limitation is there. But within that limitation, what I do is, to that extent, limited way, I can make some changes. So I can choose to remain upset and angry and very, complaining about everything in this world. Or I say, okay, it doesn't matter. Whatever happens. Let me get going. So these are the choices that we can make. This is called Purushartha. If Purushartha is not there, an individual become like an animal or an insect or a plant. Why human beings are capable of making choices? That free will is there. But the free will is thus far, not further. You cannot have total choice. So that total choice is not there. That is why it's called prarabdha. The prarabdha has created certain limitations. And within that limited environment, you can make choices. It is like Gurudev used to say, a cow is tied to a pole. Okay. And how much it can graze is decided by the length of the pole, the length of the rope, right? So it can graze the grass which is there around it, but not beyond that. Beyond that, that is not possible because it is limited there. So that is the prarabdha, that which is already happened. So in that limited choice one has, one can prepare oneself for not anymore getting bound. That is where the ego has to be destroyed, and that is where the sanchita will become ineffective. The next birth will not be there. So that is why it's called sanchita papa vinasham lingam.
A lot of people with that, the product, they have a tendency to have that fatalistic attitude. How do they overcome that? Like, oh, it's my karma, and just.
So they don't
no,
see what
desire.
their problem is when they are given this much choice. That also they do not make use of it. That is where the problem is. They say anything will happen, anyway will happen, why should I do anything? So they don't even make those choices which they are capable of doing. Number one. Number two, the another thing, as I said, you by worship of the Lord or by faith in the Lord, you can overcome the agami, meaning you can have a better control over what you do now, which will affect further. Secondly, you can overcome the sanchita also by the prayer, by reducing the ego, etc. Even that they will not do, and therefore that is where they become fatalistic. The fate they believe in, and they never move forward. So that is why one should carefully understand we have choices with the prarabdha. We have choice over not doing things which will affect in future. We have choice of reduction of ego and destruction of it, by which we can overcome sanchita. These choices one should engage in. So that is the idea of engaging in the prayer and looking for the grace.
Also, maybe the focus should be more on I have the choice instead of thinking, oh.
I have no choice. Yeah. That
Because
free will has to be.
It's a positive way of thinking.
But the another thing is people think they have ultimate choice. That is also wrong. One should know.
You have to know your limitations and yet know that within those you have your choice.
Yeah, some people say, I don't believe in any one of this and I have total choice. And such people, when they finally come to the last stage of life, or when they start seeing their own limitation, they realize that their arrogance of thinking that they have ultimate choice over everything is wrong. They should leave ground for things that are not in their control. That is also there.
So is it like, Swamiji, by killing your ego, you are not building more sanchita karma?
Correct. No. It becomes ineffective and you are not building agami. Agami means you do not any further do it. Yeah, you will not accumulate more. So we'll see more of it in the next session. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkhabhat Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.